In my 10 plus years of financial journey, there was one pivotal moment where I discovered a saving system that exploded my net worth like crazy. I call it the S4 method, and today I'm gonna share it with you. So if you're anything like me and you wanna build wealth fast, but you also don't wanna skip the lattes and clip coupons in order to save a few bucks, then this is for you. Because the S4 method allowed me to save more money and invest more money without restricting my lifestyle. Actually, on the contrary, I upgraded it. So I'm gonna share the story how I discovered it, and then I'll show you how it works so you can implement it yourself. If we haven't met, I'm Sophia. I've been learning about money and investing for the past decade. And on this channel, we explore the strategies on how to build wealth without living frugal, because I don't like to live frugal. So I was a few years in my job and I was saving and investing consistently because I already had started to work later in life than most people do. And I wanted to build wealth fast to make up for that lost time. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I also caught this sense of freedom of earning my own money and leveling up my lifestyle from being a student to now being a professional. And it felt awesome. And I guess in that context, my desire for financial freedom also came back onto my radar. So I had heard of financial freedom, but it kind of became irrelevant for some time. But in this context, it came back. So what I was doing at that point, I was saving 30% of my income. Now don't worry, it doesn't have to be 30% for you in order for this to work, but stick with me. Okay, so I was kind of satisfied with 30% because when you read here and there, then that's a decent number to save and invest. But when I calculated my net worth, over the course of several months, I noticed that it grew pretty linear. So it was growing, that was good. But to be honest with you, it wasn't growing in a way that I had hoped it would by saving 30% of my income. Like, not even close. And for most of my life, I believed that saving a certain part of your income is the solution to financial freedom. And most sources that I have found, in the personal finance literature, they said to put aside 10% of your income or let it be 20% of your income. And I was saving 30% of my income, so naturally I was convinced that this is going to explode my net worth in a short period of time. But it didn't. Then what happened is I found a video from my first money coach, Bodo Schäfer. It was a video about how to become an automatic millionaire. And he said, with saving and investing, 10 or 20% of your income, you will build wealth, but you will not become rich. And I was like, okay. In fact, let me do that for you. Because he explained it in an account structure. So you have your checking account, and then you have your saving and investing account. And when you put 10% or 20% of your income into those accounts, then you will build wealth, but you will not become rich. And then he said, this is how you become rich, is when you save and invest additionally 50% of every increase. So when you put aside 50% each time you get a raise, this is how you get rich. And by rich, he meant millionaire or multimillionaire. And I was like, this sounds interesting. And I needed to see it with my own eyes. So I grabbed a pen and paper and a calculator, and I started to run some models. And I started with my first income ever. And then I gradually increased it in my model numbers. And I looked at how much I would save if I was saving the 30% of my income. So keep doing what I have been doing. And compared to that, I looked of how much I would save if I would save the 50% of the increase. And I kid you not, in my hypothetical scenario, what I would be saving with the 50% increase was more, and not just that, at some point it was much more. And now I have called this the S4 method. And this stands for stable and scalable savings rate. So it's 4 S's, right? And the funny thing is that you're still building wealth by saving and investing, and you're still saving and investing a part of your income. But the details of this matter so much. Now I will tell you how this works in a minute, but I can already tell you. Once I had started to implement this method, my net worth exploded. I'm not kidding, it grew so much faster. And by seeing my wealth grow so much faster, it also became more fun to save and invest. Because if you're doing this and then you don't really see the results that you wished for, it can get frustrating. I don't know if you've ever made that experience. And the best part is that this method is not even restrictive. And that is because you probably already are here or here. So you're saving and investing consistently 10 or 20% of your income, which also means that you live on the 80% or 90% of your income and you're already living your life, right? So in a way, right now, you already have everything you need. So you keep your lifestyle. I kept my lifestyle. But then as soon as an increase came, and this is kind of like a future value, right? So it's not money that you calculate with right now. But then if the increase comes, you put aside 50% of it so that it grows your wealth faster. And with the other 50%, you can increase your lifestyle, right? And the reason I'm saying it's not restrictive is because you put some of that money away. And because you put this other half away, you don't even miss it because you didn't even have it before the increase. Are you guys getting this? That is also why it's so easy, because you don't have to change anything about your situation right now. The only thing you need to do is become aware of the time when an increase comes, right? Man, I love this. All right, so let me tell you how it works. Let me take another color. All right, I just leave this picture as it is. All right, quick reminder. S4 method stands for stable and scalable savings system. So let's start with the first S, it's the stable. So we do have a stable savings rate, and this is the first thing that you define. So this up here is the stable savings rate, right? So you have an income, right? And you put a fixed percentage of that income into your savings and investment accounts. And how high you choose this is up to you. You can choose 10%, you can choose 20%. I, for example, did 30%. So this is up to you. This is here stable. This is the stable savings rate. By the way, I would not recommend to put a stable savings rate lower than 10%. I mean, it does depend on your circumstances, but like we already talked about, a slow progress in building wealth might also slow your motivation. Do you know what I mean? So see if you can get up to at least 10%. All right, and then the second S is the scalable savings rate, and it's this one right here. So the second thing you do is you set yourself the scalable savings rate, because this is what's going to explode your net worth. And you can choose the 50%, like in this example. Let me write scale. Or you can choose other numbers as well. You could go for 60%, or for 70, or for 80, or for 90. If you're like extremely ambitious, you could even go for 100. But when you go for 100, which you can absolutely do, but just keep in mind, you will not be able to increase your lifestyle then, right? So then you would keep the lifestyle you already have right now, and then you kind of postpone the increase of your lifestyle to the future, right? Because you're building so much wealth now that at some point this will definitely be possible. But this is totally up to you. For me, it was too restrictive to do 100%, so I did less than that. Now, in this case as well, I would not recommend to put less than 50, although of course you can. I mean, you do with your money whatever you want, right? But if you want your net worth to really grow fast, then I would go at least with 50%. And that's pretty much already it. So you set your stable savings rate, and then you set your scalable savings rate, and then you apply that scalable savings rate to every raise to come, right? Not just to the next one, but you become really alert to, oh, next year my income increases, I need to apply the scalable savings rate. And you can also automate that, right? So when you already have a stable savings rate, let's say it's $500 a month, and then you put 50% of the increase, which may be, I don't know, let's say $100 a month, then you just add the 100 to the 500, right? And you change that automatic transfer to 600. And a bonus tip, by the way, I do not leave the 50% just in my checking account. I put the other half of my scalable savings rate into my fun account. That way I keep my baseline lifestyle the same, and I very intentionally increase my lifestyle from my fun account. I explain all about that fun account in another video. I'll link it up here somewhere. But guys, I'm telling you, this stable and scalable savings rate, so the S4 method, it is the secret to wealth, one of the many secrets to wealth. And in fact, it's the core part of my course, and I just gave it away for free. So please, please, please use it, and use it wisely. And if you do, let me know how it went. Now, just in case you are interested in my course, it's called the Automated Wealth System. You'll find a link down below in the video description. And now I wish you success, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.